Who is the international artist I think SM needs to be pushing? He is the 8th most searched K-pop male group member on YouTube in 2022 worldwide, 5th in the US. He's gone platinum twice in Korea. He was the headliner of K-pop Flex Festival in Germany with over 44 sold out 1,000 spectators, and the ambassador of Seoul's Fashion Week in 2022. And of course, he has been adored and crowned as one of the most influential dancers in the K-pop music industry. I'm talking about Kim Jong-in, aka Kai. He has made a not too shabby solo stint in his career, with just nearly 2 years of that soloist stint under his belt and a professional career spanning a 10-year run. Now, I've spoken about Kai's work in a previous video. However, here after my last tweet about him in recent appearance as a headliner at Germany's K-pop Flex, alongside his EXO group member Chen, I found myself actually digging into why I really believe he's SM's most marketable and wide-reaching soloist. Now, I know that comes with a lot of scrutiny since he's not the only soloist in SM Entertainment, nor is he the only one to reach across international borders or even have a successful music career. As a matter of fact, his other member, Baekhyun, has had very successful moments as a solo artist, particularly as a million-seller solo artist, a multi-million seller, with chart-topping solo albums. Now, which is unheard of because in Korea, being a million seller requires you to sell 1 million copies. In a country that's relatively small, we're just selling about 400,000 copies is quite a feat in and of itself. So, moreover, the market in Korea is associated with having uplifting, more melodic and ballad-like songs topping the charts. Thus, Kai himself's charting position singles-wise hasn't presented itself to be the public's most biggest attraction. But what if I told you I believe Kai could be the biggest soloist export out of SM since Bohwan? Let me explain by taking you first through a quick overview of Kai's solo output. Kai's eponymous debut mini-album era was some of the most creatively executed of its time, with plenty of alt R&B tunes all on the record. Now, the marketing of Kai in its branding and promotion was of excellent quality, with a visual album promo teaser that is miles ahead of most of the groups of his or the current generation K-pop. The typography of the brand logo Kai, the promo photos inclusion of futurism and high fashion mixed with street fashion, and of course the fluid choreography. The debut effort only slightly missed the top spot on Gaon, but appeared in other worldwide charts, while the song appeared in the top 30 of Gaon's singles chart, Gaon being Korea's Billboard equivalent. The overall execution of the era was well received. It still deserves a bit more appreciation for the ambition in the songs themselves. Peaches, coming the year later, would be his second mini-album. It leaned against that R&B soundscape yet again, but added some new flares of colorful dance pop. The era landed exactly almost a year since his debut output in 2020. Kai actually denied this being intentional, but as a result of a lengthy process of preparation. Moreover, Kai mentioned Peaches as a stressful process to prepare, yet he wanted to showcase more. When it was officially released, it was met with warm reception for its titled record sound with a shorter but impactful teaser. And once Peaches had landed, it did make a closer step to the top spot on Gaon's chart, which is a vast improvement. However, the title track did not make it to the top 40 on the Gaon charts as his previous effort did. With that in mind, I wanted to talk about what can be said for Kai's official debut album to come, and how if SM Entertainment played their cards right, Kai could exceed the expectations of the previous efforts. Obviously, this isn't a guarantee, but I do want Kai to succeed with his music. I think his taste in R&B is very modern and slick, which is a favorite element of R&B for me. It leans into that territory of R&B archetypes like Aaliyah, The Weeknd, and Usher, who carry a flexible rhythmic element in their music that can either be danceable or vibe-worthy. In that case, it's probably the most wide-reaching aspect of his music, which brings me to Kai's artistic direction for his next output. To start off, I feel like with the many connections SM Entertainment has, I would like to see Kai keep this evolution of alt R&B experimentation. More so, I would like to see a song of his go into that Sonic territory that Black Tuxedo did with Doja Cat Streets, or Kehlani's 90s R&B leaning Up All Night featuring Justin Bieber. Something of that sort to really push his sound as cohesive yet genre fluid. Most don't know that R&B has variations. These variations come out of that late 90s, early 2000s split of traditional R&B soul and the futuristic studying movement, which evolved into that alt R&B as we know today. Now, Baekhyun has made a name for himself as that powerhouse vocalist in the former category of traditional R&B soul, so I think that it's a wise choice that Kai based his music taste and brand to stick to the latter. It's a more prominent aspect of R&B most younger demographics love, especially internationally here in the States. Think SZA, Jhené Aiko, FKA Twigs, and again, The Weeknd. Now, it would be nice if Kai just stood his ground solo on the album. However, it would be exciting to see him team up with some K-R&B artists or even international R&B pop stars. In the latter category, I favor Tinashe due to her well-versed experience as an R&B pop music artist. Not to mention a live performance with those two would set the internet ablaze. Tinashe herself actually openly stated wanting to collaborate after hearing his recent release. Plus, a lot of men in the K-pop industry have shown love for Tinashe over the years, and getting that cosign would level up anticipation. Now, another possible but unlikely candidate would be Normani. Now, Normani, for those who don't know, comes from a group like Kai. She's respected and adored as a live performer with a strong dance background. I even feel her darker singing timbre would be an interesting combination with Kai's slightly brighter but smooth hazy tone. Also, Normani has interacted with an SM artist before, like NCT 127, so it wouldn't be a bad idea for SM to reach out to RCA Records, who hosts Normani, and get a collaboration together. Although Normani has had unfortunate setbacks with her own solo output, I think this is a smart marketing tactic to get a broader audience for both of them. Overall, I do want Kai, when he decides to fully showcase a body of work, to give himself time to properly prepare and to SM to properly execute. If they can give Kai the type of build-up and freedom like on his first mini album with what was previously mentioned such as collabs, he pushed through international boundaries with ease, and I am aware SM is a very controlled environment like most labels in Korea. However, considering his ambition as an artist with such a widespread appeal, I think he's more than earned the right to explore in this territory as a solo artist. And with appearances like headlining at K-pop Flex, he has more fans than SM realizes internationally, and not even with XOLs. We're talking about a fan base he grew from those who just knew his solo endeavors as well.